conference is no longer being recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good morning. Sound check work. Can you hear me? Okay, good. All right, so we're going to get started with just the charts that are in front of us. And all we really have in Tesla is a cluster at that 1164 to 1171 area as far as support. It's really not any major pullback, but if you're looking for something to trade against, that would be the first area. As far as Amazon, all we really have here, and I can't do timing yet because there's not enough bars, is the 618 that overlaps the 1618 extension of this prior low to high swing, 33.63 to 68. So that is a decision. Actually, let me get rid of this old timing because we don't really need it. As far as the S&P, if you're looking at the 120-minute chart, note that we are close to extensions where moves tend to terminate, and we also have time resistance to the move. So what does that typically tell you? That you're in, if you're in on the long side, that you want to ratchet up stops. And let's see, as far as NVIDIA, now I tried to run some timing on this, but we don't have any for quite some time. Actually, it might not even be until tomorrow. But we will also take a look at the daily chart, and I'll let you know what I have there. As far as Apple, let's see, next minor target's going to be that 183 area. After that, it's 183.85 to 92. And as far as NVIDIA, you can look at a retest of this support for a trigger. I mean, obviously, it would be better if we have time and price come together, but, you know, no such luck at this point, but it is still a decision, especially on top of that symmetry. As far as Nasdaq, if you're looking at that 120-minute chart, we're in support right here, this 163.50 to 71 area. Basically, the 786 retracement back to that last low, and a 100% projection of a prior high to low swing. So that's going to be a decision. And you also had at least a short-term decision in S&P. Now, it doesn't look like we're getting the follow through, but you did see a nice little bounce off of that symmetry support. Let me give you a potential target though. Okay, so that would be 48.11. That's if we continue to hold above this last low. All right, let's take a look at the daily charts. All right, so as far as S&P, again, what we have on the daily chart is the fact that we are extended. We've extended these prior swings, so that just means that we're in the position to see a pullback. We might not see it, but we're in the position. So what is that telling you? Just to trail up stops. I also have the next group of timing cycles, the 3rd through the 5th. So we have time and price resistance. Again, that just tells you to trail up stops. As far as the S&P futures contract, now we did meet those targets that I had, you know, I erased them obviously because we went through them, but we're also going to add the minor high to low swing and the targets off of that, which would be 48, I'll look at 48.14 pretty much, and then 48.32. If we can push through those areas, then I don't have anything until 48.81 to 89. And let's see. Yeah, so we're still looking at, you know, off of this support on the 120-minute chart S&P, we're still looking at, again, that potential target at 48.14. Okay, we don't always meet targets, though, so, you know, as we're getting close, you definitely want to ratchet up stops. Now, as far as Nasdaq, let's see, we actually did have timing at this last high, and that high is still intact. As far as any new support here, don't really have it. The only thing as far as timing, it's slightly different than the S&P. It's the 5th through the 7th. But if we don't see a clear move into it, you're just going to ignore those cycles. And let's see, as far as the March contract, all we're really doing here is failing against that 786 retracement. And remember, we did have timing at this last high. So I don't really have much in the way of support on this chart. We're going to look at the, well, actually it's just that other support that I gave you on the other chart. I don't have it done on this one, but on the chart underneath you'll see all we have left at this point is just going to be that 786 retracement. And as far as IWM, the weekly support held nicely. Next resistance on the weekly doesn't come in until 230.82. And then let's see, as far as the daily chart, okay, so we're only slightly through this last extension. That's all I really have is resistance. I haven't run the support on this yet, but I have run the support on the 30-minute chart. An area that stands out is going to be more of this 223.75 to 224.25. Obviously, you can look at these as you know, a couple of smaller zones. The only thing that we have at this last low, just a couple of 50% retracements. Okay, so no great setup here, but I do like this zone underneath. All right, so that's it for those. And then let's take a look at the stocks. Okay, so as far as Apple's concerned, your next upside target on the daily chart is going to be this 183.85 area. Original target off of the December lows is 186.12. All the moving averages are still on the side of the bulls, so this is one of the better looking charts. Do remember though that I had timing. Okay, here it is. The 3rd through the 7th, we actually have cycles coming in, and again, all it tells you is to ratchet up stops because we don't know if the timing is going to kick in. As far as Amazon, failure at that 786 retracement, there really isn't much on the daily chart except maybe below the market. And as far as the 30-minute chart, okay, wait, I have that underneath here. Yeah, it's not looking so hot. All we have left is that 618 and 786 retracement, so nothing too special there. Let me just grab this other chart again. Okay. And then as far as Facebook is concerned, now I do have some timing the 4th through the 5th, and if we are trading down into these cycles, then we're going to anticipate a possible low and reversal back up. You do have all the moving averages on the side of the bulls. You're above the 200, above the 50, 5 and 13 are still in a buy mode at the moment. You don't really have the support until a little bit lower on this daily chart, but you do have support on the 30-minute chart. Okay, still that 335.60 to 336.16 area. What I'm going to need to do is add an extension here in case we break that. Okay, so you either have a decision on the retest of this old support or a test of the lower support, which is going to be 333.49 to 334.42. Also note that on the 30-minute chart, it's in a sell mode, so really shouldn't be long this one overnight just yet. As far as Google is concerned, I do have some timing factors through the 4th through the 7th. So going to anticipate a possible low in Google. We're going to need to obviously push back through this old resistance if we are indeed going to shoot for that 30.82 on the upside. Not much on the 30-minute. Now, as far as Netflix, all we really have for a decision, and again, it's not a setup, it's only a single level, is the 786 back to this original setup decision. If it holds and you want to look at a new buy signal, feel free to do so. Just know it's not, an official new setup. It's just against the original setup. But know that if we don't hold either on a retest of this support or the 786, you have to be prepared for an extension to the downside, because if you took a short against this resistance, your typical target is going to be that 1272 extension, and that comes in at 571.17. All right, that's Netflix. And also Netflix, again, don't want to be long overnight because the 834 is in a sell mode on the 30-minute. All right, we actually have a potential two-step pattern in the case of NVIDIA. So here's the zigzag here. Okay, and let's see. 284.77 to 289.55 is the zone. But you have a 618 retracement, you have two extensions on the downside, and you have the 100% projection of the first swing down. So that is a setup. Okay, just see if it triggers an entry or not. All right. Yeah, pretty much you're looking at pretty much the same thing on the 30-minute chart. Two-step pattern. As far as Tesla, now I do have some timing. It looks like the 4th through the 7th, and we're trading up into it. So again, what does that mean? Just to trail up stops as you go. Ultimately, off of this December 21 low, we would still have a higher target up at this 1340.69 area. Okay, as far as the pullback, we're looking at that on the 30-minute chart. And we are in the zone right here, right now. So it looks like, actually, I'm going to just get rid of the ones we kind of went through. So your decision here is 1164.04 to 1167.04. Okay, but if you don't get a signal, leave it alone, because it's in the position after this rally where we made, two targets on the upside. It's in the position to pull back. So again, be patient for the triggers, because if we don't hold this, you can get a much deeper downside correction. As far as gold is concerned, it ended up holding the support. So let me give you a new potential target. This high to this low. Looks like it's 1842.40. That would be the 1272. As far as resistance on the way up, your next decision is really going to be that 1819.70 or the 618 back to the last high. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. The 120-minute chart did end up holding support, and again, the potential upside target is going to be 1842.40. As far as crude, okay, so we did end up taking out the recent high. Your next resistance is at 77.88 to 78.30 area. I think I'm going to have to take a look at timing on this after I'm finished here. Now, as far as the 120-minute chart, we did end up holding that original symmetry support. We haven't yet met the target, though. That would come in at 78.30. So we don't always meet targets, but we always shoot for them. So, you just want to make sure that you trail up a stop as you go. Let's see, from that last low to this high, yeah, that was 337 as far as the rally. And then I did try and give you some new support on the 30-minute chart. You can break this down into a couple smaller zones, but the whole general zone is anywhere from 76.76 to 76.96. Quite a bit of symmetry plus a 618 retracement of the prior swing. We're not quite there yet, though. All right, and then the last, let's see. Wow. All right, Nasdaq. All right, we're still going to look at this old support as a decision. And then also, if that area does not hold, we're going to have to look at the extension of the prior swing. All right, let's get rid of this one. All right, and then the last grouping of charts, I'm just going to go over Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin, again, the decision is still against this symmetry support. It is a counter trend buy decision because you're below the 50, you're below the 200, and the 513 is in a sell mode. So yes, it is a buy setup, but it is a counter trend buy setup. Okay. And then as far as I did take a peek at timing using the histogram. We do have timing for a possible low here. Have not had time to do the outright cycles there. So that's pretty much it for that one. And as far as Ethereum, if you remember, I had some timing factors on this one. Let's see if I can still see them. Okay, it was 28th through 31, and the actual low was made on the 30th. So we did have timing at that last low, areas of resistance that you have to watch, 39.38, and then 40.34 to 41.24. So that's pretty much it for those. Let me get these other charts updated since the market is imploding at the moment. All right, and then I'm going to stop the video here, and then let me know if you have any questions.